Hi, welcome to I Love the Library. I'm Mary Haney, Director of the Detroit Lakes Public Library, and today I'd like to talk to you about authors' pseudonyms. Many authors write books using other than their own names. In fact, at one point in publishing history, it was the most common for people to use something other than their own name. So let's start back a ways with prolific Western writer Max Brand. In real life, this author had a very literary name. His real name was Friedrich Schiller Faust, and under his own name he published poetry, wrote screenplays, and was a war correspondent during World War II. As a fiction writer, he used the name of Max Brand, George Owen Baxter, Evan Evans, George Evans, David Manning, under which he wrote pornography, John Frederick, Peter Moreland, George Shallis, and Frederick Frost. Max Brand Westerns still circulate a lot here in the library, even though Friedrich Schiller Faust died in 1944 from wounds he received while reporting on World War II from Italy. So that's Max Brand. Following Max Brand, just a few years later, not much, was Ed McBaine, Evan Hunter, and another whole string of pseudonyms, including Hunt Collins, Kurt Cannon, Dean Hudson, Richard Marston, Ezra Hannon, John Abbott. And this all led up to the real name of the author, Salvatore Albert Lombino. So if you've read an Ed McBaine book, it was really written by a guy named Salvatore. He used Ed McBaine for crime novels and Evan Hunter for writing more literary novels. There are still Evan Hunter books around. One of the ones that he wrote, probably the most famous, is The Blackboard Jungle, which also became a very famous movie. And he also used Evan Hunter for writing screenplays, including two, this one, of course, very famous, Hitchcock's The Birds, was written by Evan Hunter, and Strangers When We Meet was also written by Evan Hunter. And these I just happened to find in the library as I was looking around for some of our authors' alter ego works. So one of the problems with publishing in the past was that publishers only wanted authors to produce one book a year, or they wouldn't put out more than one book a year. So many authors who were very prolific writers, like Evan Hunter, used different names so that they could put out more books in a year. Other authors use nom de plume so that they can differentiate themselves from other types of writing that they've done. One of my favorite mystery writers is Elizabeth Peters, who writes the Amelia Peabody series. Her real name was Dr. Barbara Mertz. She had a PhD in Egyptology, and she first started writing when she wrote scholarly articles and books on Egyptology in her own name. So when she started to write fiction, her literary agent suggested she use another name. She started with Barbara Michaels to write Gothic suspense novels, and when she started writing the Amelia Peabody series, she began using the name Elizabeth Peters. The prolific author issue was one that a writer named Nora Roberts ran into. Nora's real name was Eleanor Robertson, but she writes as Nora Roberts. She says she writes 8 hours a day, every day of the year, even when she's on vacation. Her output is so large, publishers didn't want that many books by her coming out every year, so she started using the name J.D. Robb. So we have lots of Nora Roberts books, and we also have lots of J.D. Robb books. So if you want to come and find out what we've got for many different authors under all of their names, come on into the library and check them out.